Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank. Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes, Start Your Morning Right. I am Isani Cayetano.
And I am Sabrina Daly.
And it is Wednesday, the 3rd of May, 2023, in the year of our Lord. Good morning, Sam.
In the year of our Lord, I love it. It's a lovely Wednesday morning. And I'm happy to be here with you again, Isani. I have to say I enjoy hosting with you. It feels very natural. But yeah, it's a beautiful Wednesday.
How's your morning going so far?
Really good. I have to say, I really think that I'm warming up to the morning routine type thing because I was definitely the opposite. But I enjoy the early morning drives here to work. You know, you just see the cyclists, some people exercising, and that's about it. There's not many activities happening on the road, so it's good for me.
Well, tell you what, you're going to be here with us on the couch for the better part of the month of May.
Yeah.
As April is out on other business.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some getting used to for you driving down. It's going to take some getting used to for you being on set and, you know, engaging in the conversations that we have with our guests. But prepare for a wonderful experience.
Yeah,
That much I can tell you.
I definitely am enjoying it so far. I was told not to get too excited because it's only day 2, so don't feel like it's only going to be like this. It's gonna get tiresome, but
Yeah.
I'm remaining optimistic, and I'm just happy to be here with you guys and with you guys, welcoming you every morning on the morning show. You know, where you start your morning right.
Yeah. So let's discuss a bit about what's taking place in terms of the public chatter.
Yes.
I know that we have a What's Buzzing segment every morning, and we look at either small things that are trending or we look at the major discussions that are being had across the country. In this case, let's look at something that is taking place across the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we published an article based on a poll or a brief survey that was conducted by Lord Michael Ashcroft in respect of the king and his realm. All right? Without going much into what the other countries within the Commonwealth had to say, because a lot of it is based on percentages, based on the questions being asked. For me, the What's Buzzing item in it is the fact that, you know, it brings to the question, or it brings to the fore once again, the question of where we as Belizeans stand on, you know, having a king,
Yes.
having a king on the dollar, you know, or doing away with the monarchy altogether. And I know that in the wake of the Queen's passing last year, this became a topic of discussion, right? Where several government officials and other notables weighed in on the conversation. And while I recall the Minister of Education, whose portfolio also includes culture, was saying that perhaps it is time for us to actually have this conversation where we're looking at Belize in the context of, you know, either carrying forward that age-old tradition of being a part or under the monarch, or, you know, moving in a different direction, the way other countries have that were once Commonwealth nations.
Yeah, and I can remember the conversation, at least for me, I can remember that it started when Barbados officially established itself as a republic. And immediately after that, talks were being heard of Belize, you know, really questioning whether it would be open to the idea of being a republic and what that would look like for us. Of course, there were conversations that immediately followed, like the possibility of us not having that security when it comes to England and our current dispute with Guatemala that's at the ICJ. So those are talks that are happening.
It's not like we have that security.
Yeah, but that's what people are saying.
Yeah, certainly.
So those were reasons why people were, saying that they would not want to leave the monarchy because they believe that us being a part of Commonwealth, that we have a sense of security with England. Of course, there are other people that feels like it's time for us to really take on that next level of independence and establish ourselves as a republic. So I was really intrigued by this actual story, and I have the script here, so I do want to pull some parts of it. So it said that in Belize, 48% of the respondents would vote to maintain the monarchy, and in a referendum held tomorrow, meanwhile, while 43% would choose to become a republic. So immediately we saw that the poll itself said, if we were to have a referendum tomorrow, would you decide to have Belize be a republic or remain with a monarchy? And more than half, well, almost half said that they would remain with the monarchy, and 43% said no, if it was tomorrow, we would not. But we did see, though, that if it was 10 years from now, they were more open to the idea of establishing Belize as a monarchy. So I don't know. As a
republic.
As a republic, yes. I'm not sure if it's that we just feel like maybe the time right now we should not. And that's why I said I think a lot of Belizeans believe it's because of the recent dispute with Guatemala that's currently in the ICJ, and just not being sure what that looks like as it, I guess, pertains to security.
Perhaps it's also arguable to say that 10 years from now, we would be a more liberal society where we'd be more open-minded to exploring different structures, regimes, systems, and what have you, right? And so, it's an interesting conversation to have. In the wake of the Queen's passing, as I alluded to earlier, there was much chatter. There was also the man on the street interviews that we usually do when we want to test the pulse of the people. And I could recall, a vox pop being done in downtown Belize City where people are asking about, the Queen's head being replaced by the King's head on the dollar. And that too yielded some very interesting results, right? Because everything, when you have these kinds of public opinions being shared, you have those who are for and those who are against, and it's a matter of being able to understand, the rationale behind those who are proponents of something versus those who are staunchly against something.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, when I think of referendums, I also think about the current situation with the marijuana referendum that we're trying to establish as well. So we are expecting at some point for that to be...
Well, that's sort of on ice. I mean, last year, with all that took place and everything, the government decided that, they would put a hold on that also indefinitely. It's not to say that at some point in time it won't, be brought back to the fore of public discussion to see where we stand then on the matter. But for now, there's a lull. Everything is sort of quiet on that front.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to cover? I think
we're good.
I think as it relates to softer news, that was about it for the news last night. I mean, we had a lot of we had a lot of murders and fires. For me, what stood out was the story of the Haitian national that lit himself on fire inside his vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that could be talked about with that particular story, especially mental health. So, I mean,
I'll say for me, I think what gripped many, if not all of us, was a tragic story of the mother who perished with her 2 kids in the fire yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even sit here pretending to know what that is like, and I can't, it's unimaginable for me, residents were out there, the fire service was out there, police were out there trying to see what could have been done to save the family in the first instance. And when they realized that, it was futile, it was a matter of beginning to accept. And I'm saying that, I'm saying that because I don't know how else to say it, but it's a matter of looking on and seeing that, these people are you know, dead and the fire continues to rage. It's I don't know, I mean, I was speechless.
Yeah, and
I'm still
rarely
speechless.
ever.
Yeah, I am hardly ever without words, but something like this, you know, the gravity of it for the remaining family, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So we're hoping for some more positive news today at least. But we're going to keep things moving along with our eye opener, hopefully to provide you guys with some positivity this morning as well. Of course, it's taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. When we begin to listen with our hearts rather than our heads, our whole world changes and becomes softer. Most of us were born and raised in cultures that value the head over the heart, and as a result, we place our own hearts below our heads, in a sort of inner hierarchy of which we may not be conscious. What this means is that we tend to listen and respond from the neck up, often leaving the rest of our bodies with little or no say in most matters. This is a physical habit, which sometimes feel as ingrained as the way we breathe or walk. However, with effort and awareness, we can shift the energy into our hearts, listening and responding from this much deeper, more resonant place. The brain has a masterful way of imposing structure and order onto the world, creating divisions and categories, devising plans and strategies. In many ways, we have our brain to thank for our survival on this planet. However, as is so clear at this time, we also need the wisdom of our hearts, as if we wish to continue surviving in a viable way. When we listen from our heart, the logical grid of the brain tends to soften and melt, which enables us to perceive the interconnectedness beneath the divisions and categories we use to organize the world. We begin to understand that just as the heart underlies the brain, this interconnectedness underlies everything.
There are two concepts at play, right? I believe I was taught that one is called the logos and the other is called the ethos. So the head is the logos, the heart is the ethos. The head deals with logical interpretation and processing, so to speak, and the heart deals with the emotional, more sensitive side of things. Now, as men, we're always taught, go with the brain first, right? Try to see the rationale and the logic behind either decision making or navigating through a situation. The thing about that, though, is that for some of us, it makes it difficult, if not near impossible, for us to navigate our feelings. Because one, society tells us that we're supposed to be brave and strong and put your emotions to the side and face a situation head on. But at the same time, we are equal parts logical beings as we are emotional beings.
You're human.
We're human, precisely, and we go through all of that, right? But I would dare say there are a few of us, perhaps, who are able to tune into our emotional selves and listen to the heart. As difficult as that may be in the face of something where you're looking to see sense, logic, you're looking to see something practical versus, you know, going from the heart that says, you know what, it's how I feel more than how I know something to be or what I know it ought to be.
Yeah.
You know, and so that is the balance that we try to find. So from this eye-opener, not only do I take that away, but I say perhaps for someone like myself, that continues to be the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Because as I journey along through life, it's always trying to find that balance between, you know, my logical self and my emotional self, you know, and being able to not only be emotionally intelligent, but to also be practical and pragmatic when you're faced with situations that require you to be.
Yeah.
So that's my little takeaway from the eye-opener this morning.
I immediately thought of the saying that goes, use your heart, but take your brain with you.
Good one.
So for me, of course, as females, we're kind of expected to carry feelings and emotions into things. And I'll proudly say I do carry them. But I'm also very logical, and I try to be fact-based as well, and I think it's so important to have a balance of both as well.
Yeah.
Because as you mentioned, you recognize the challenge of not using the ethos, you know? And people will be able to see as well if you don't have heart in things, or you don't use your emotions, or you don't tap into your emotions. So I think it's so important that you utilize both. Where the brain is concerned, I think it helps you really think before acting, and really establishing a more logical way of moving.
You know why? Because there are going to be situations that we're confronted with that require us to step back from trying to be rational, from trying to be on the book, so to speak, and require a more softer approach.
Yeah.
It requires us to be compassionate, and that comes from the heart. You know, you could turn off your brain and say, I know this may not necessarily be the most logical approach to something, but in the midst of whatever it is that's taking place, sometimes we have to lead with our compassion.
Yeah, and I think when you know how to tap into either one, that's when you know it's perfect. So perhaps that's the challenge for us all, really knowing when to use what and how much perhaps to use if you have to carry both of them. Especially if you're in a leadership position where you're fact-based and you're logical. It's important to also have compassion too, because we're all humans, like we mentioned. So I think what I take from this eye-opener is, while it's important to use your brain, it's also equally important to have heart in it as well.
Yeah.
And for our viewers at home or wherever you are, have some heart today, and
use your brain still too, though.
Use your brain too. Yeah, I definitely love these eye-openers, and I say it every day. I truly enjoy them. I think it's the daily dose of motivation, or, you know, that we need.
Gives us that spark.
It gives us that spark. But for the weather today, I mean, I'm not sure if we have the forecaster online, but I am happy to see that the weather is looking well. Do you think the Sahara dust has passed?
Well, I only heard about the Sahara dust.
You didn't see it?
I'm not sure that I even saw it.
I saw it, Isani. I saw it. I traveled over the weekend, and I remember going to the airport and thinking, is there smoke outside? And it was not. I'm telling you, the Sahara
well, if that
dust
were
was
the case, then perhaps, you know, I may have seen it. I don't know.
You saw it. You saw it.
I don't look up.
Did you expect to see the desert outside?
We have with us on the line at the moment forecaster Catherine Cumberbatch. Good morning.
Good morning.
Miss Catherine.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Well, after almost 12 hours of work,
oh, wow.
What can I say? That I am getting a little bit tired now and sleepy.
Oh, my gosh.
I hear you. Okay, let's not hold you up any longer then. Can you share with us what's going to be the forecast for today and the coming days ahead?
Okay, sure. Okay, now, general situation is that, you know, we have seasonally hot and mostly dry conditions prevail. And for the next 24 hours, you could expect sunny skies with cloudy spells and hazy conditions. And high temperatures today are expected to reach 89 along the coast, 97 inland, and 88 up in the mountains. And with those high temperatures, heat alert remains in effect. And we are advising residents, especially those living inland, are advised to stay hydrated and avoid outdoor activities as much as possible, especially during the afternoon when you expect the temperature to peak at that time. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy and hazy, and the temperatures will drop to 80 along the coast, 72 inland, and 68 in the higher elevation. As we look at our radar right now, we see we have some isolated showers, possible isolated thunderstorms affecting over the extreme south and over the Independence Monkey River area. So we expect that this morning, and those are expected to dissipate it out. And then this afternoon, we expect some isolated thunderstorms to develop over inland areas, especially over the Maya Mountains area. We expect these thunderstorms to develop. Elsewhere, no rainfall is expected. Our winds will be coming out of the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea state will be choppy. Our outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for continuing hot hazy and dry conditions to prevail. We have our sargassum forecast, which is showing that there's a high chance that more sargassum moths will continue to land on our local beaches during the coming days. And in our fire forecast, due to our seasonally hot and dry condition, the risk for forest and bush fire will continue to be high. And that is what I have for you guys.
Brilliant.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thanks a lot, Forecaster Cumberbatch.
Oh, you're welcome.
You
Okay,
enjoy
bye.
your day. Bye. I'm more concerned about the fire and the sargassum, simply because with the fire, you know, a lot of forest cover is destroyed, but it's part of nature,
Yeah.
right? When you have fires, it gives time for regrowth, so to speak, of plants and other crops and what have you. But with the sargassum, it's something that we're still learning to live with or make the best of. Just as an aside, Paul did a story a few weeks ago with someone who has, a Mexican at that, who has learned to make, you know, the blocks out of sargassum. But I think it's just way too much sargassum at any one point in time, perhaps, to manufacture that many blocks for, you know, construction purposes or what have you. But I'll just put that there as a side because the sargassum forecast is what brought my mind to it.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely agree. And I remember that story too. I thought it was very innovative, and I'm hoping that sometime in the future we could establish that as a business here. I think it would be perfect for the islands.
Yeah.
But one thing I also wanted to touch on, just to go back to what's buzzing, we forgot to mention the number for Agriculture Show.
Oh, it's like 34,000?
Yes, 34,000. Imagine that with all the heat, we still had a record number.
Indeed, indeed.
I mean, that was really interesting. I remember reading that story thinking, whoa. You know, sometimes people actually don't know. Sometimes I'm reading these stories and I'm actually seeing it for the first time too. So it's important for me to compose myself. But I remember seeing that number and thinking, but we spoke about the heat the morning. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of people.
I think my focus, you know, in looking back at the Agric Show over the years is that there's been a significant shift away from, you know, promoting agriculture as it is now about promoting business, right? And while, yes, the minister is on record to say that, you know, having lending institutions present allows for farmers to have a platform to be able to, you know, seek loans and what have you. But the focus should remain on, to me, animals and plants.
We had our reporter, Dwayne Moody, out on the site over the weekend creating a story for what took place at Agriculture Show. And we want to show that to you guys in case you missed the news last night. Yeah. So we're going to air that clip now.
For decades, around this time of the year, the National Agriculture and Trade Show has been showing off Belize's best crops and byproducts, creating an opportunity for farmers to offer sweet deals to buyers. The show did not disappoint. There were livestock and crops on display and deals on fruits, vegetables, and grown foods. And in some instances, there were fruits that outgrew their expectations, like this pumpkin that weighed over 150 pounds.
If you look around, there are new bioproducts. That's the direction people are going to. Instead of agro-inputs, you look at the bio-inputs. I'm very interested in that. I like to see new varieties of products. It's just a very interesting beans variety that Cardi has, fortified variety. We look at the new technology used to control insects, Cardi again. So there's a lot of interesting things to see out here today.
Another transformation that Agric has undergone over the last decade or so is the inclusion of commercial lending institutions. The Development Finance Corporation was a big attraction, and Marketing and Communications Officer Hipólito Bautista, was on hand to explain.
We support the event because this is where our customers come. People congregate, Belizeans congregate from across the country, and DFC, we serve the entire country of Belize. We provide financing, as you know, for home financing, business financing, very important, MSMEs, right? And particularly I want to touch on a product that we developed to make it more easily accessible for micro and small, because we know collectively they churn and they drive this economy, right? So empowered business loans for women of any age, as well as men between 18 and 29, the young men. We have financing available from 2,500 up to 5,000. They can access easily. They no longer need a guarantor. All they have to do is sign a commitment to repay.
Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo May, shared that including the lending institutions as a part of the event is a game changer for farmers because they have always had difficulty accessing agricultural loans.
Financing for agriculture is always a challenge. One, because it's a risk. The interest rates are always high. And two, some banks are not even interested in lending the farmer. But as you can all see, that food security is very important, food sovereignty is very important. And so the banks also react to the demands. So if we are promoting our food, we are promoting food security and food sovereignty, then the banks take it up too. And then they say, well, I want to be a part of this. I have loans available for the farmers at such a rate.
Of course, the trade show, similar to an expo, featured what a lot of people also flocked to the event to see: deals on the latest gadgets and electrical appliances. There was no shortage of cell phones, laptops, and tablets. Carlos Perez represented Cellular World at the event.
The main purpose of the National Agriculture and Trade Show promotion that we have is to get the lowest prices that we can, to make sure that we create that impact with the customers and ensure that they're getting the best value for what they're paying for, regardless of the item that they're buying, right?
Whatever you attended the event to see or to purchase, chances are you got it at a price you couldn't get at any other time or at any other event than at the National Agriculture and Trade Show. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
All right, so that was
Marion,
our look back at the events of the weekend at the National Agriculture and Trade Show 2023. And as we mentioned earlier, it's roughly 34,000 persons from across the country descended on Belmopan on Saturday and Sunday to participate in the Agric Show. I think just to kind of go back to a conversation that we had yesterday, the idea of being able to showcase farmers, I know that leading up to the Agric weekend, we here at Channel 5 were featuring the Farmers of the Year in various categories. And the female or the woman Farmer of the Year to me stood out the most. Not only was it an exceptionally well story in terms of how Paul put it together, but not Paul, I'm sorry, Marion put it together, but seeing a woman in that capacity serving and doing what she needs to do to feed herself and her family in what would otherwise be considered a man's work, this back-breaking labor.
And how she started too. She started selling it and then wanting to grow it herself. I thought it was really inspiring.
So we're looking at her there at work, getting this thing together.
Yes.
And, it's worth noting.
Yes, absolutely. I love these stories. Of course, I love human interest stories as well, but we're going to keep things moving along with our show lineup today. And we have 3 great topics. Starting things off, we'll be talking to Kaya Catus herself and the race that was held in Cozumel, Mexico. So cycling.
All right, so our second segment this morning, it's the Sprite Basketball Cup. And we're going to be discussing with 3 representatives who are going to be telling us everything that we need to know about this particular tournament.
And we're going to close things off with representatives from Experience Church to talk to us about the upcoming show, Redeeming Ruth. So I am excited to hear all these conversations. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Kaya Catuz. Don't go away.
For Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Moms, you rule the galaxy, and we know that keeping your family close is the most important thing to you. With Samsung, our phones keep you connected with your loved ones no matter where you are at any time. Capture every moment with our state-of-the-art camera technology on our S-series phones such as the Galaxy S20 FE, S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra. Make Mother's Day a day she'll never forget. Make memories that last a lifetime when you gift her the Galaxy A-series phone starting as low as $309. Celebrate Mother's Day with Samsung, because moms rule the galaxy.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Deja mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
And welcome back. We're on to our first segment and taking it on to sports. Yes. It's our Sports Wednesday, if you must have it. But we're joined by Kaya Catus talking about her big win over in Cozumel, Mexico at the Cedral Classic 2023. Now, Isani, we were talking during the break about kind of the history with Kaya, and we'll include her in there. But with her father being one to partake in this competition, and now kind of passing the baton over to Kaya. This is her 10th win, I was told. Kaya, am I correct?
You're right, you're correct.
So this is old news by now. You're just gonna go pick up your prize, right? You just gonna Mexico and pick up your prize, right? But we want to say a big congratulations to Kaya. Of course, there was a delegation of Belizeans as well that partook in the race. But the big news coming out is that Kaya won. And we are so happy to have her here on set talking about the experience again this year and what it means to, put in the work and get this kind of result every time.
With that said, good morning, Kaya.
Hi, good morning, guys.
How's it going?
It's going well.
So there's a lot we want to talk to you about regarding your career in cycling. And perhaps if we begin first of all by talking to us about the experience over the weekend. It's nothing new to you. It's something you've been participating in for quite a while. But is there anything different about this time around versus previous rides in Cozumel that you've participated in?
Well, like Sabrina said a bit earlier, my dad started to race in Mexico way before I was born. And as a child, my brothers and I used to travel with him to these races. Cozumel has been a special one for us because that was one of the first races that had junior participation on the Mexican side. So we started to race there from an earlier age. Me, however, I started to race there in 2012. And actually, I started to race there before 2012, but 2012 is when I started, was my first win. And the thing about Cozumel, it's an island, so the factors that you have to, the elements, the wind, the breeze, the sun, it's hot like Belize, but the wind is like times 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I could only imagine you're pedaling against that strong headwind, feeling as though you're going nowhere, right?
It's when you come up on the seaside. A big part of the race is on the seaside, and it's crazy crosswinds, and just letting go of your handle to drink water, it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. Wow. So talk to us about your career in cycling. I mean, I know you've had a number of accomplishments under your belt over the past few years. You're also scheduled to ride internationally once again with your team in the United States. Talk to us about the path you've traveled to get to where you are.
I think I've been in the eyes of the media for a while, and what I like about it is that in Belize, everyone has been able to see the struggles that we had to go through to get to where I am at today. Signing a professional contract was definitely not something that came just overnight. It took a lot of years of discipline, dedication, perseverance, and trying to get to that point. So being at where I am today is, I mean, for me, every day waking up, just knowing what I have on the table in front of me, it's like a dream come true.
Kaya, could you talk to us about the actual competition itself over at Cozumel? How long in terms of the length was the race itself?
The race was 46 miles, so it's a bit shorter than the road races that we do here in Belize.
But I imagine the wind would make it feel that much longer.
Definitely, the wind is definitely the added factor.
So what about the terrain?
It's pretty flat. Okay. Being an island, Cozumel doesn't have any hills or any mountains, so the terrain is pretty flat. And imagine having to race hills in those types of wind, it would be a double whammy. So
I know.
Goodness they don't.
Yeah.
Good practice is probably Kaya, right? But I want to know. I want to know, Kaya, this is your 10th win. I imagine you were the target when you went over to Cozumel in terms of competition. You were the one to beat because of your history in this race. Could you talk about your competitors? Do you interact with them? What is that like?
Definitely. Racing in Mexico is definitely, it's something nice because the competitors, I mean, they train just as hard and, you know, they want to win as well. But in conversations prior and after the race, you know, we talk about what we do outside of cycling, as well as my international experience, what they have been doing. And a lot of these girls I have been racing with over there for a while now. Some of them we started at the junior category and we're now at elites together, and we just took different parts in the world of cycling.
That must be so. There must be such a bond with you and your fellow cyclists as well, the people that you interact with over the years. I mean, you said it yourself that you have been going to Cozumel, Mexico since your dad raced there. So I imagine some of these people that you're competing against, you probably have known for years.
Yes, and even some of the officials and the people just around the cycling races, they have known me from before I started to race. So, I mean, they have also seen that development over the years.
I want to know, Kaya, is the sport of cycling embraced in Mexico the way it is here in Belize?
It definitely is, and maybe even more so, especially in a local race like they have in Cozumel, because it's so much community oriented, and the family that organizes the race and runs the race, you know, everybody gets involved, you know, all the kids, the husband, the wife, all the cousins, everybody is involved in the organization of the race and the running of the race.
Do you know how many persons participated in the race this year?
I'm not sure overall, but in the female category, we had 16 competitors.
Oh, okay.
How does an outing
in the elite category, I believe there was in excess of 70. And they had 6 different categories, actually. Masters A, B, and C, Novatos, which is the novice category for guys who have only been racing for 1 year.
Okay.
And then the women, elite women and elite men.
So how does an outing like this prepare you for any other upcoming events or tournaments that you will be participating in? I ask because you're riding again very soon in the States. How does the outing in Cozumel perhaps keep you in shape or keep you, you know, properly trained for what's coming?
Well, right now for me, I'm trying to get back from injury, and all these races are just letting me know how far my body has recovered and how much I can push it, and you know, try to build back that threshold level and see how far I can go. So all these races for me right now are just like a gauge to see where I need to be and how far I have come since the injury.
You're one of few women cyclists in Belize at least who really stood out and have made your mark. But it doesn't seem as if though, and I may be wrong, you'll correct me if I am, it doesn't seem as if though we're seeing more and more young girls, young women, and women, you know, sort of go through the process of becoming athletes at your level, at an elite level.
You're perfectly right, Isani. There aren't a lot of women or young girls who are competitive in the sport of cycling. What I have done in the past 5 or 6 years is started a high school cycling series to try to get more young women interested in the sport of cycling so that eventually our women elite category can grow to where we have in excess of 20 participants. But every year we get a good crop, and cycling for some reason it's expensive. It's hard work. I mean, it's definitely not a walk in the park. Waking up early in the morning to train, and sometimes people just don't stick with it. But apart from that, I believe if we had other programs or other ways that can get these girls not only involved, but after they become interested, find a way to hold them. That is what would make this thing grow. Yeah.
All right. Well, Kaya, thank you so much for joining us. Can we just go over again what's next now?
So sometime before the end of the month, I travel back to the U.S. My crit season starts over there. So between May and September is when our season is officially on the go. So yeah, that's what's next for me.
Nice.
And you depart to the U.S. very soon as well for your competition.
Correct.
All right. All right.
All right, Kaya. So thanks for having joined us this morning. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And of course, we continue to support you from home, making sure that we have your back. Thanks again, all right?
And thank you guys for having me.
All right, so we'll take a commercial break. And when we come back,
we'll be joined by the representatives of the Belize Police Department to come and talk to us about the Sprite Basketball Cup.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
From now on, when you visit Uno, you will experience an A+ power in all fuels. Dynamax has evolved into Dynamax Plus. The new formula with the ultimate technology in additives provides an A+ power and A+ performance. Dynamax Plus, available in diesel, regular and premium. Try it today and reach further. Uno, a different energy.
Explore the great outdoors with Benny's quality and savings.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marion Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
We will never give up the fight. Feel the temperature rise, storms intensify. It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing. But hope is remaining. And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. Caribbean sea, it's a part of me. We're all in this together, even if we are apart. Moon and all the swan, tout le monde sont. We're all in this together, nous sommes Caribbean. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean. Nous en dépendons tous, notre planète Terre. Je n'ai pas imaginé un jour un monde sans vie. We're never losing, as long as we're moving
Towards a better future, it belongs to you and me.
Let's be persistent,
We'll be resilient.
we're all in this together, even if we are apart. Y todos sabemos que todo lo que hacemos. We're all in this together, afecta nuestro mundo. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. One climate, one Caribbean. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see now everything's changing.
But hope is remaining.
And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. Yeah. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one chance, all that we got. One voice, together we start. Take care, the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para guardar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are one climate, one Caribbean. We're never giving up the fight. One climate, one Caribbean.
And welcome back. Our second segment this morning is with the Sprite Basketball Cup representative. I say representative because Douglas Hyde is here with us this morning to talk all about this particular initiative. Now, before we even get into it, Doug, I must say that personally, I am honored that it is being named after my dear friend William Dawson.
Yeah.
That's the first. I just wanted to put that there so you know where my heart is, where that is concerned. Right? So let's talk about this year's tournament, what we can expect, and how involved the Belize Police Department is, as always, with this particular initiative.
Firstly, let me say thank God for the opportunity and being here on Channel 5. As always, it's a pleasure to share our events and activities. Let me recognize and say good morning to our Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Karim Musa, Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners, Assistant Commissioners, and all our senior officers and rank and file of the police department across the country. The William Dawson Sprite Digi Youth Basketball Tournament 2023. We've come a long way. We started off in 2015, 2016, when it was birthed by Commissioner when he took over Eastern Division. As you mentioned earlier, Sprite Cup. It was called then because Sprite and Digi was the first two who came on board, and Sprite pushed that they wanted it to name Sprite Cup. And we started off with 6 teams. Never forget that. And the idea was to bring these different neighborhoods together to compete against each other. Commissioner was looking at alternatives, methodologies, strategies to work in these different neighborhoods, trying to bring the gangs together. And so when we met with the leaders, they suggested sports. I don't know much about other sports, but I know about basketball. I've played many years, and I've played at the highest level too. And so immediately he put myself along with Elver Kakumo, who was in charge of the commander in charge of community policing back then. And we had to plan and flesh out the concept. We did. And when we did that first year, it was a trial and error. And 2015, 2016, we kick it off again. We move on to 8 teams. We finished that. 2017, we move on to 10. And we did 2018, 2019, which we had a real successful year. Unfortunately, COVID came in, and we were on a lull for 2 years. 2022, the government of the day changed in looking at the whole concept of how to approach crime and violence. And that was the multi-sectoral approach concept came into play, and a leadership intervention unit, who then, our good friend and colleague, William Dawson, was the chairman of that. And I remember this clearly because they had this big meeting in Belmopan at the commissioner's office with all ministries and different agencies to discuss strategies, looking at, again, ways to get these guys involved and stuff. And Commissioner suggested our tournament. Remember, we went on a lull. And so the return of the Sprite Cup came back to life. Minister Karim, Minister Ferguson were the first 2 to champion this initiative. And I remember clearly they called me into the meeting and to discuss more likely what and how we'll do it. And I told them instant, this is fun for me. So I am on board. We went from 10 to 15 teams. We met with all the different neighborhoods. For the first time, we actually had villages involved, which was Ladeville, Hattieville, and Mahogany Heights. We started with those 15 teams in 2022, and we finished the tournament with those 15 teams. It was the first time having a high results of that. The Sprite Cup was renamed then at the meeting to Live Life. And we carried that, and we actually did some changes. We actually had, for the first time, an All-Star Day, which we had celebrities participating with the guys in the tournament. We also dubbed it Team Karim versus Team Chester, which was again a catching thing because it was like, all right, Team Karim, they come versus Team Chester, and I made sure that it was very competitive too, and Chester lost by 4 points, by the way, right? So, but the guys appreciated it, and I never forget this. Before he got ill, William and I was discussing 2023 before we even finished the tournament of 2022, and when we completed 2022, he was like, 2023 will be bigger and better. The results of the guys coming together, we saw great dynamics change in the whole tournament, which lasted 5.5 months. And with the discussion with the teams were, let's do this again. I was happy that in this year, 2023, we kick off the year saying we want to do this. But unfortunately, William passed away in January. And in that whole process, which many of us, especially me, because if he was alive, he would have been right there next to me right now discussing this. initiative, Commissioner sat with me again and said, let's do this year in his honor. Let's do this remembering William for the many support and also for his dedication to these guys. And he was one of those who said one of the best approach to work with the guys from the streets is through intervention, through sports. And I totally supported it, and we push it. So this year, the name of the tournament is the William Dawson Sprite DJ Basketball Tournament. And I'm proud of that because we now have something to even build on, to carry on. We've made many changes in terms of the team numbers now. We've moved from 15 teams to 24 teams this year.
Wow.
We have now...
That's a complete schedule.
Yeah. In terms of the persons who participated, we used to have 8 persons per team. Now we have the full roster. In terms of locations, now we have teams like Sandhill now is on board. We have Boom team, we have our Gracie Rock team. So we have 5 teams from the villages adding on to the city teams, which is 19 of them. So now I smile and I talk about it to the guys because the villages are getting more involved. And so it's like the urban versus the rural now. Last year, Hattieville came in 3rd, representing the villages, which was a good game likewise too. In terms of the prizes, we've raised the prize. First prize is $4,000, second prize $3,000, and third prize is $2,000. And we also, in terms of the guys, the life skills component, it's not just basketball, but we also have the Department of Youth Services along with community rehab, trained social workers and youth workers who will work with these guys every Saturday on topics very related to the whole tournament, whether it be sportsmanship, anger management, conflict resolution. These trained personnel will work with them in group setting, but also looking at ways to move forward. You know, so if there's for example, if there's a issue before the game, these social workers, youth workers will work with them on that level and after the game.
Let me pause for a second there, Doug, and perhaps talk a bit about the landscape, so to speak. So while in Belize City, we have 19 teams that are going to be, who have signed up, that are going to be participating. These 19 teams come from various neighborhoods. Some are rival neighborhoods and what have you. I wouldn't say as much that the other village teams, you know, have any kind of enmity or what have you. So I'll pause on that part of it for the time being, but let's look at Belize City, for instance, right? Say, for instance, you have a Yabra team going up against a Lake Independence team, and there's known to be a history of rivalry between these two neighborhoods. What does a young man walk away with engaging in this type of activity, knowing that, you know what, it's an opportunity to mend fences in some cases. It's an opportunity to see Belize City beyond the neighborhood that they're locked into. Because a lot of times, you know, you can't cross Mahogany Street, you can't cross Beringrong Bakayabra, so on and so forth. And you don't really get to experience Belize City the way the normal or the ordinary person would. What does one walk away with?
They walk away with a lot, I should say. The opportunity to play in this tournament really opens a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways. Let me start off by saying that these guys have agreed to cross borders, to open doors, to open their hearts to this tournament. And I share with them the sentiment of what you put in and what we are putting likewise. So if we don't put in the peace and the calm, we are big up this tournament to the level where it should be. Let me recognize that we have a lot of talented, skilled basketball players in our country, a lot of good athletes. Many of them may not get the opportunities and may not have the opportunity, like what you said, to move around. This tournament gives them that opportunity, but also it creates an avenue for them to communicate with each other that they didn't do before. The only communication they have is through violence. So if I know you come out at me last night, I'll come back at you sometime. here's an opportunity that we can mend that fence. The tournament creates that door where these individuals not only play against each other, but they come in to compete, but to talk to each other. We saw in 2022 deep discussion and communication with leaders, but also with rivals, which never happened before. And we were very excited to see that, but we were very careful because we know that in Belize that some days or sometimes it's calm. And then in a second and two, the heat is on. But we've also saw that some of these guys recognize that they are not in that level. And many of the leaders will tell you, they are not in that crossfire. They are trying their best to keep the calm. What is happening is some of the younger ones who basically don't want to listen and decide to say, yeah, what, we don't care, we are still, but the carrot and stick approach is here, where we are creating the opportunity to work with these individuals. But also the next arm of the police department is there to deal with those who want to create mischief or commit themselves. And there's no if about that we have no remorse, or we are not going to hold back to those who want to, the small handful who want to keep the country like, yeah, that they want to control it. But we want to support the many who gets up every day and say, you know what, I want to do something better in my life. I want to, and the walk away for this is the bragging rights. You know, after you win 6 months tournament, you have bragging rights for 6 more months, you know. And what happened to this, the champions of 2022, which was the Hard Rock Boys, went in the national tournament for a sports council, and they won that too. So they have that bragging rights to show that we could do this, and so that motivate the other teams in the tournament to say, yeah, we could also compete at higher level. Not to take away that some of our guys have moved on to the elite level. At least no less than 10, 15 players have stepped up to different teams in the elite level.
So this also works as a stepping stone to
greater things. So there's a lot of walk away from it, and I'm happy that we have also seen that some of their families are involved. The games have attracted community, they have attracted their families to come and to support. So when some of them come, see here comes their girlfriend, their kids coming to see them. One of the guys showed this out in one of our sessions. You see, you know what? You see my jersey, you see my medals? These are for my kids, because when I'm not around, they will wear that. They will remember my dad was part of this. That's a big walk away.
I want to segue now to introduce Barry Nolan. He is a sponsor of this particular tournament. Good morning, Mr. Nolan.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Talk to us, Mr. Nolan, about your interest in sponsoring an event like this.
Well, I'm the manager at St. George's Key Resort, and I first got involved in community service with Rotary and the Youth Mentorship Program. That's how I met Doug Hyde. And from that, it evolved to last year, 2022, when we were putting the basketball tournament together. Doug was pioneering that, and I was very interested, so I was involved to donate, raise monies, work with it from our business, sponsorship, community service, caring about the children of Belize, the future, and also the excitement of doing something that puts us directly involved with what we call the street, our neighborhoods, where we live, your address.
Yeah.
So last year was phenomenal. It was tremendous experience, I think, for everyone, including the athletes, the families. And it was just such a tremendous impact. It moves the heart. And seeing people, Belizeans, the neighborhoods, react, respond. An athlete going down the court and hearing his daughter go, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," and he does this and goes in and scores a bucket. And those things excite me, and also my staff and the company, the Rotarians. It's what we do. Is our community service is valuable to us, and this is one of the projects we believe in truly. So we're involved again this year in 2023. So,
what I want to touch on is the sense of pride that I imagine these participants have being a part of a project like this. I have interacted with persons that are also a part of gangs and, you know, at least trying to be reformed gang members, I'd say that much. And there's a cry from them to be recognized in positive activities. So I love that you mention where a person that is, you know, playing a sport, or the sport here, playing the ball, and, you know, a child, their child saying, you know, daddy, daddy, that's something that they want to be recognized for as well. So I completely, I'm proud to see this activity spread out such a long time span and see it grow as well from 6 to 24 teams. Can you talk to us about some of the feedback from the teams, from the communities, from the streets that partake, on the impact itself that it has on them just to be a part of something positive and be recognized for that?
That's deep. That's really deep. You know, in planning and coordinating this tournament, the communities that have reached out to me saying that we want the tournament coming up for a year or two has been amazing. The concept was to go to these different neighborhoods and compete in their basketball courts. And first, it was not looked at positively because, of course, they're dealing with gang members and dealing with gang areas. You have to worry about this, you have to worry about that. I'm very thankful for the police officers who work in this tournament and the police department who have literally assisted in making sure that safety and security is paramount. You know that we pick up the guys from the different neighborhoods, we take them to the games, and then when the games are finished, we take them back to their community. The safety is paramount for us, but also looking at the community's participation is important. You know, when a team is playing for that community, the community comes out. And we've seen it in several neighborhoods that we have the competition.
Can you look at Mahogany Street, for
instance?
instance?
Yeah, the turnout was huge.
Amazing.
But I remember this last year when we did Green. For the first time during a day, we see no less than 300 persons were there. And the feeling was, man, we need to do this again.
Yeah.
The community buy-in, the community turnout is very important. We need to do more of this for these communities. It's too much negativity sometimes that is sold within these communities.
And they express it.
And some of them see it, you know, that they want better.
Yeah.
They deserve better. We have a lot of talented young men and females that wants to do good in their community. Is that we need to create that avenue, that opportunity for them to show and shine. The tournament gives some of these guys the opportunity. The skills that we see in this tournament is at the highest level. We see guys playing their hearts and soul out. Not on these high-tech NBA basketball court. We have cement courts. And I'm telling you, the way how these guys play, they're at NBA level. The ability to do the things that they do. And if they were here talking, they will tell you they put their heart and soul. They will get up, they work out, they try their best to do positive. It's just sad that some of these communities were created to have rivalry against each other. And I said that because it's not all these communities that these guys want to have beef against each other. I think sometimes it's just the reality, the situation that creates that you have and I don't have. And so because you have and I don't have, I want to go after you. And we've seen that many times when it comes to the whole drugs play, that because of drugs, involvement, and money control power, these guys want it. And of course, if you have it, why won't I want it from you? And if you as a leader, why won't I want to come to you as a leader to take away your power to make I hold the seat for you on time? And so what we've done is to try to take that away, that if we can find many avenues otherwise than seeing that gang is a powerful structure group, but showing that we have other ways to show that there's positivity in terms of power that these guys can get. For example, the training, the education, the other activities that can enhance them to build better men of our country is what is more important. You mentioned just now in terms of their family. No funny. No one and kids say they're part of their past. All of them will tell you, my kids, I want to learn something positive because I don't want them to go through what I went through. And so this is one positive thing for them to showcase with their kid in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you can see the pride, you can see the dedication and commitment when these guys are there and their kid is around supporting them. And I sometimes I get emotional about it because we didn't have it before.
Yeah.
You know, and now we have it, and that's something good. I must say that the partner agencies, National Sports Council, the directors of both youth and sport are very much my partners in support, along with Community Rehab, City Council, who works very closely in making sure that, for example, we need the neighborhoods to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
City Council come in and they did that clean up for us. We need basketball courts to get fixed because, as you know, some of these places have been neglected for a while. High grown bushes, the backboard, they dropped down, the rims, then they broke up. This tournament again looks at these things. So we assess, we put the numbers together, we pass it to the individuals and say, listen to me, we need to fix this place. If we are having a competition to go in a certain neighborhood, we need to uplift the venue. We've done that. We've fixed a couple of these basketball courts, painting, changed some of the rims. In fact, the Kings Park basketball court that we will opening in the tournament this Friday, we've actually designed a new backboards with the William Dawson brand, with William being there on the backboards itself. Nice. That is not our brand that we want to take away from Sprite and nothing away from Ahmadiyya, but we want to have our brand now with our tournament, which is something different, something new again. And we're happy about that because, again, we want to bring, as what you asked before, what is the takeaway? Yeah. The tournament will finish in November. When the tournament finishes, we'll have places that people will continue to go and play. And they will see the backboards, they will see the jerseys, they will see these guys continue to uplift themselves positively, and we feel proud of ourselves, the outcome and results of the tournament.
Can I speak to that?
Yes.
Sure. I'd like to talk about the other side of it, which is every weekend last year, building on what Doug just mentioned, of all the bureaucracy and the efforts of others, is the neighborhood impact. You mentioned pride, fairness, respect. And every weekend, countless weekends, the tournament's done, ball's finished, we've pulled off, neighborhood people are still hanging around, the backboards are repaired, the court's functional, and until dusk or we leave, children are playing on that court. Neighbors are sitting around talking to each other. It's very much a social, community-based gathering. And I think that, as experience, is tremendous because it is pleasant for everyone. And that builds the infection and the word of mouth that says, what happened? What went on last weekend in Hattieville? You know, said, it was amazing, da-da-da, we won. And the families were out, they had food to serve, and the kids played till dark once we were done. They're going, where is it gonna be next weekend? Yarborough. And that's something that really fires us up and motivates us, and we share that because it's not just us excited and fired up, it's the group. And I'm seeing things that are wonderful that I didn't think I would not see, but I believe in these neighborhoods. I believe in the people, all ages, who are serious about wanting to participate and wanting to do it with some trust and pride. And we support that 100%.
Wonderful.
It's amazing, believe me, and right now I'm just enjoying the moment, but I know it's a lot of work. Believe me, it's a lot of work. I'll tell you, doing these tournaments or doing these programs, because Commissioner, I know he has a lot of trust and a lot of energy built in me in terms of getting these things done. But these are a lot of work. These programs, whether it be the youth mentorship or this tournament, and because how it has grew from these small numbers to these big numbers, it takes a lot in planning and coordinating. Yeah. But I also have to recognize that this year we've created a working group committee, which involve police officers and civilians and different persons, whether it be business or community persons, to be on the committee to assist in the whole coordination and direction of the tournament. We have like persons like Ms. Cheryl Saldiva, Dr. Mackay Lerner. We have Dr. Rosado, Deputy Commissioner. And these are people, again, who take their time out to be on part of it. Barry sit as the vice chair. And then we have the LIU representative. We have community policing representative, a representative from the referees, the desk officials. Very important that we have those persons around the table to share their ideas likewise and what they feel, what we need to adjust and what we need to basically change. It's very good that they get a chance to a platform to discuss, because some people will think it's just go out there and play basketball. Yeah. William always mentioned this, that it's more than basketball. Yes, we see the guys competing, but the work before that is what is interesting. Yeah. Giovanni Blackett is on board. He comes with a boost of energy likewise, and he comes with ideas likewise to support the initiatives. And I'm happy that he's part of the team, working from the LIU likewise too, and he's a big support. I want to recognize our sponsors if I can.
Yes, please do.
Sprite DJ, two of our long sponsors. I cannot take away from the commitment from them. Digi come back on board this year with us, and I'm very thankful because they were out for a couple of years, so they're on board. We have the Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Home Affairs, sorry, Minister Karim, who've literally given his dedication and support along with Minister Ferguson Rodwell. And now we also have Minister Henry Charles Usher, who is a big supporter of the tournament. Social Security, David Zabane, Abner Morio, Rotary Club of Belize. We have St. George's Ski Resort, Ministry of Youth and Sport, Phoenix Foundation, Dolphin Production. These are the persons who really they help carry through simple things like this. For means we need equipment, basketball, you know, the jerseys, which believe me is not cheap. 24 set of 12. That not easy, but it's not just on white and black jersey. It's different colors. Again, we trust, we build on not the red and blues no more. So different colors. Like I remember last year champions, people like, what, this bright pink? And nobody never say, oh, nobody might pick the bright pink. And they
were proud.
Guess who win the bright pink? And they were proud of their jerseys. And when you mentioned
the underdogs,
when you mentioned when you mentioned to Isani, what is the takeaway? You know, these guys use their jersey everywhere and anywhere. And I'm proud of that. When I would drive around or walk around in some of these communities and see these guys have on a jersey, I'm proud of having on a jersey.
Because it means something to them.
And in other competition, they use the jerseys as part of their team, getting together and stuff. And I'm happy of those opportunities that we've created. The police department is very dedicated to this. The commissioner, he supports this 100%, along with our other senior officers. This Friday, 3 p.m. at the Lopez Mateos Park, there in Kings Park community. It's going to be a big afternoon where we have the opening ceremony to officially launch this tournament. We also have two big games. The two games that I have played out is that the rematch of last year's finals. So we have the police who will play against the Hard Rock team, And then we have Hattieville, who will play against Complex. Complex came in second, Hard Rock was first, and Hattieville came in third. So we have the rematch of these games, but we switch it up because we want to make sure that the competition starts with a bang. And then from Friday, we go straight into it the next day, which is May 6th, the Saturday, with no less than 12 games. Because Kings Park is unique with 2 basketball courts, we will have 6 games on court A, 6 on court B. And every week, every Saturday, we play in Kings Park and other areas in Belize City and the villages. So like after the way how I structured it is 2 weeks at Kings Park. The 3rd week we go in a different neighborhood in Belize City, and the final week we travel to our village. So we go to Hattieville first, then Sandhill, then Mahogany Heights, and we go back to the different neighborhoods in the city. So the guys get a sense of the villages, but also the different neighborhoods in the city. And we are happy to see that they enjoy that too, because again, they're asking for that. They want to go to the villages, they want to play in their community likewise. I remember the guys from Euphrates, George Street. They completely asked, so can we get out of all these weeks 1 day at our court? I say, you're serious? They say, yes, man, we want to play that free court. Why? Because we want community come support. So this is very important, and we support that. So I'm very grateful for the tournament. I'm very grateful for all those who support and sponsor it.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for joining us and talking to us about the William Dawson Sprite DigiCup. We are excited to see all the teams come out and play and to hear feedback from you guys as usual on what an excellent year it will be. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. We'll see you at the games.
Yes. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be having our 3rd and final segment. Experience Church will be joining us to talk about their show, Redeeming Youth.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens." President John Quincy Adams, at the age of 80, was asked by a friend how he was. President Adams said, "John Quincy Adams himself is quite well, sir, but the house in which he lives at present is becoming dilapidated. It is tottering upon its foundations. Time and the seasons have almost destroyed it. Its roof is worn out, its walls are much worn, and it crumbles with every wind. The old tenement is becoming almost uninhabitable, and I think that John Quincy Adams will have to move out of it pretty soon. But he himself is well, sir, quite well." You know, to the Christian, death is like moving from one house to another. While we may leave the house of our earthly sojourn with sadness, yet we move with gladness. In this new home, the blind will see, the deaf will hear, the speech impaired will speak, the crippled will stand, the paralyzed will walk, and the devastating diseases of humanity will lose its power as we are given the title deed to this home that will never deteriorate. Faith in Jesus Christ can give to you this blessed assurance. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Hello eCash user, the eCash app is now available in Spanish. Changing the language in your eCash app from English to Spanish is quick and easy. Let me walk you through the steps. First, open your eCash app. Enter your PIN. Tap the More icon at the bottom of your screen. Choose Security. Select Language. Tap on Spanish. Then re-enter your PIN. And that's it! Your eCash app is now in Spanish, and you can continue to enjoy your eCash digital wallet. Belize Bank's eCash app makes life easier.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
And we are back with our final segment, and we're joined by representatives of Experience Church in Ohio. They are here to talk about their upcoming show, Redeeming Ruth. Good morning, ladies. We have with us Justina Brownlee, and she is the co-pastor at Experience Church in Ohio, and Betsy Baringer, and she is an assistant pastor at Experience Church. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks
Lovely
for
to have
having
you
us.
guys here on set.
Great to be here.
So we're here to talk about Experience Church. First of all, I'd love to know, you guys are based in Ohio, but you obviously have connections here in Belize. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, for about 5 years now, we've been doing different missions programs and workforce programs and events here in Belize with God Cares Outreach. It's a wonderful organization that we get to partner with. And so we bring mission teams, but then also we've hosted pastor conference, anything we can do to just come partner and support what God's already been doing through God Cares right here has been an amazing adventure, but also just a blessing, not only to us getting to come, but to us when we go home too. So it's been great.
So your upcoming show, Redeeming Ruth, it sounds interesting on its own, just the title itself. I guess, could you expand on what it is? What can we expect? What is the show about?
Sure. So we actually are having a women's gathering. And we've been in Punta Gorda already over the weekend. And then this Thursday night, we're going to be in Orange Walk and gathering groups of women. A couple hundred women will come together. And then we're going to be in Belize City this weekend. But the whole program, the event, is really just to provide an atmosphere for women to come together and rediscover hope and rediscover purpose. And the reason we call it Redeeming Ruth, because in the Bible there's this woman named Ruth in the book of Ruth, and her story is similar to, I think, what a lot of different people can relate to when their disappointments come, when there's times where we're lacking things, we don't know where to go next or how we're going to make it. And that's Ruth's story. But God came along and he provided a way. His hand was on her life, and before she knew it, she had been redeemed. She had found new purpose. She had found all the provision she was needing. And so it's an amazing story of hope. And that's really just what we wanted to bring through these events, and just give an opportunity for women to make connections. I think we're living in a time where loneliness is becoming more and more. And so how do we come together and realize, oh, you struggle with that too? Me too. So how can we walk through that together, encourage one another, pray for one another, and just find hope in the midst of all of that? So that's really why we're here. We're excited to do it.
Sounds exciting too.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So this show, it's a first of its kind here. Is this the first time that you guys are presenting something like this?
It is. It's the first time we've done specifically large women's gatherings like this. On Saturday night at 6 p.m. at the Biltmore is where we'll hold it, in the River Room. And so it's free of charge. We just invite women to come and partake. We're going to laugh together. We're going to share the story of Ruth together. We'll do worship songs together, and there'll be teams there ready to pray for women or encourage women that really just need somebody to connect to find hope. And so it is the first time. We've done pastors. We've gathered pastors together. We'll be in the the schools, speaking to students this week. In fact, directly after the show, we're headed to the Belize Central Prison, which we love the opportunity to go there. And I think if there's anybody that can understand what it feels like to be a Ruth needing hope, it's there at Belize Central Prison. So I can't wait to get there and share that story of hope.
How have you guys found Belize in terms of the strength of the people where fellowship is concerned, where faith is concerned as well?
Would you like to answer, Betsy? That one. I think that we see a strength of, of keeping the faith and just having a very positive outlook. And, I think we hear people say a lot, like, God's good. God's good. And so that's even encouraging to us, just to hear, in the midst of troubles and trials that we all face, that's the common theme that we hear from a lot of the people. So,
and I think it's always good when somebody from the outside, not even another nation, just somebody that comes in and connects to you and says, it's okay to dream again. It's okay to keep believing. It's okay to think bigger things and go after the things that you desire. And so that we see that the Belize people are amazing to one another, and they're ready for that, and they're hungry for that. And honestly, we get as much as we give out when we're here. We always go home just feeling more blessed that we've been able to be with the amazing people in Belize. We're always encouraged as well.
What keeps you spiritually grounded in terms of being able to do this kind of outreach, in terms of being able to return again and again and sharing hope and faith with Belizeans?
I think relationships matter. When you find people that you have the same call, the same desire and passions to reach people, and you connect together, I always say we're better together. So just one person, probably it'll be you can still make a difference. But when we team up and when we partner with the organizations that are already here and already doing great works, when we come together, our resources grow, our knowledge grows, and even just our passion for it grows. So I think that's what keeps us coming back, is the amazing relationships we've built, knowing we're called to do this together.
I think too, even coming out of thinking of the women's gathering, that's what we're hoping to bring to the women's gathering, is to gather the women to form that community, to form the relationships, so that as they're walking through hard times, that they have that community, that relationship to fall back on too.
So do you guys have, in terms of the number that you're expecting at the conference, is there a number that you're hoping to achieve?
I think anywhere between 200 to 300 we're already expecting.
Oh, wow.
And so we're making space, and we said if some of us stand for the time, we'll make sure that there's a seat for everyone that wants to come. And so right now that's what we're probably expecting, in the hundreds to come. And so we're excited about it. We're excited.
That's amazing.
What interests me and what kind of gets me going here is the fact that, you're finding time to be able to visit the Belize Central Prison, where, as ironic as it is, it's oftentimes when men and women are locked up that they find purpose, that they find faith, that they find some kind of a higher calling or a promise. And being able to remember that this population of people exists and reaching out to them is something good.
My husband, actually, the reason we have such a passion for this, my husband was incarcerated for 3.5 years. And then after incarceration, he went to a Christian drug and alcohol program, and that's where he gave his life to Jesus and really just became a transformed man, and now we pastor a church. And so we have a real passion for those that sometimes can get overlooked or written off as if something good can't come out of it. And I love that my husband's story, it's a redeemed story like Ruth's. His story is that God can use anyone if you'll be devoted to him and you'll surrender your life to him. And so that's why we're passionate about that. So everywhere that we can go to a prison or a center that is facilitating programs for the people that are feeling down and out, we love to do it.
Wonderful. So is there anything else that you'd like to say in regards to the show itself? You could use this opportunity to invite the public out.
Would you like to?
Yeah, we would love to. So if we would love to personally invite you, if you are free on Saturday, join us at the Biltmore. It's going to be in the River Room. It's upstairs at 6 p.m. You could bring a group of girlfriends if you want. You could come yourself. There's going to be plenty of ladies that will welcome you, sit with you, encourage you. We would love for you to be there.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. This is Experience Church, and they are inviting you women to Redeeming Ruth. It will be at the Biltmore Plaza here in Belize City on Saturday?
Saturday, May 6th.
Saturday, May 6th at what?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Perfect. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. All right, we'll take our final break, and when we come back, we wrap things up.
Investment Services Explained. In September 1999, SSB's Mortgage and Investment Unit was created. The unit later became the Investment Department in 2005 and officially Investment Services in October 2007. So, what is the Investment Services role? How does Investment Services help to support Social Security and you? And why is Investment Services important to Belize? Investment Services' function is to make prudent investments in the form of commercial loans, shares, and real estate development. The interest income generated from these investments ensures the fund is sustainable to pay current and future Social Security benefits to its insured persons. The investment income is used to support the working population and pay pensions such as retirement and invalidity. Additionally, investment loans support economic development through commercial loans to startup and existing businesses while aiding in increased production of goods and services. We can expect Investment Services to continuously impact the lives of every insured person through Social Security pensions. Investment Services will continue to support the Belizean economy through secure investments in various industries. And that is why Investment Services exists. Social Security Board, an investment for you, your family, your future.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Welcome to Design Depot, home of Sherwin-Williams Paint. Sherwin-Williams Paint is one of the most reputable paints in the industry, known for its superior quality, durability, and environmentally friendly technology. We carry a large variety of products for all your home and commercial needs, such as interior and exterior paints, primers, wood stains, sealers, clear top coats, caulking, aerosols, concrete, and masonry products. Achieve professional-looking results with ease using Sherwin-Williams paint and coating. Available at Design Depot, all in one place.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
And we're back, and thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. We had such a wonderful discussion from different topics as we spoke to Kaya Katus as it relates to cycling, the Belize Police Department when it comes to their sporting basketball cup coming up, and of course Experience Church talking to us about Redeeming Ruth, a show that's happening this Saturday. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or concerns, you can send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com. Oh, we have a birthday shout out. I forgot to mention that. We want to say happy birthday to Alicia Young from your friends and family. Happy birthday to you, Alicia.
There she is.
Looking lovely. Yes, we hope you have a wonderful day today and a better week, an even better week on this hump day. We want to say also happy birthday to everyone else that's celebrating their birthday today. And if you have a birthday shout out, be sure to send us a message. You can send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com. But you can also tune in to our Facebook page at Channel 5 Belize. You can also check out behind the scenes on our Instagram at OIE Belize. Until then, thank you guys so much for joining us as you open your eyes
to start your morning,
right? Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a good one, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.